Warning. The following podcast is utter nonsense and may cause agoraphobia, kleptomania, insomnia, and oppositional defiance disorder. We are required by law to provide you with this disclaimer for hazardous materials.
And welcome back to Hazardous Materials, last week's comics this week, wherein we talk about last week's comics this week.
And then we talk about the latest multimedia news, like, say, casting or some comic fluctuations, just to keep things spicy.
Just a bit. My name's Casey Johnson, with me as always,
Gideon Gonzalez.
So, what do we got?
Well, Batman 86 came out.
And we thought we were going to be excited about that.
I was pretty lukewarm on it to begin with.
DC has been puffing this one up.
Yeah.
So we expected, okay, it's going to be fresh, it's going to be new, we're going to have something to say. We even put it in our show, and
it's certainly a new jumping on point.
But
I don't know. It's just kind of bland. Like,
it is bland.
I'm not a big James Tynion the Fourth fan. I like his Justice League Dark. That's pretty good.
But I'm not a big Batman fan.
Yeah, a lot of his stuff, it's a little dry, kind of wordy, and this one definitely falls into that category.
Yep.
So the premise of the book is there's a new villain called, I think it's the Designer. They've got some sort of big overarching plot that involves all of Batman's villains, a la Hush.
Yeah.
Tony Daniel's on art duties, and he's not my favorite Batman artist. Like, he's a good artist, but he's just I've seen him on Batman a million times this decade, you know.
What is Tony Daniels? I know for a fact he was not the Daniels that did Daredevil way back during the Armored Daredevil times.
No, that was
McDaniels.
That's Scott McDaniel.
That's right.
Tony Daniel did some X-Force in the 90s, like around the time Greg Capullo was on the book. He was doing some of the Dick Grayson Batman era stuff with Judd Winnick. Trying to think. He did Deathstroke for a while. Like, he's a pretty popular artist. Oh, he wrote and drew New 52 Detective Comics, which not good, very bad.
Oh, really?
Oh man, well, we might have to.
Oh yes, okay, I know what you're talking about.
I don't want to cut a promo on it or anything. Like, it's not a good comic. This book is better than that. Like, Batman 86 is a perfectly serviceable comic, but it's just I loved the Tom King Batman run. Mm-hmm. I know that I am a vocal minority on that, since apparently a lot of people did not care for it, but I thought it was a really good introspective psychological look at Batman that was willing to dive into some tough issues.
As far as Batman and the artists go, whoever you said Daniels is now drawing it, he apparently knows how to draw Selena Kyle.
Yeah,
because that dress,
it's a very Selena. It's no Joelle Jones, Selena Kyle.
No, I mean, but usually when men are drawing women, it's always a particular boring, bland, over-sexualized style. And I know we're talking about a dress, which is very risque, but it's done in a classy style.
Yeah.
And it's eye-catching, especially for like a big page spread that it's on.
I know we don't really talk about the book a whole lot, but now I'm on the topic of it. Joelle Jones is Catwoman. Mm-hmm. Really, really good. And she has such a knack with design. Like, she designed a Catwoman's wedding dress, which was phenomenal. And she updated the 70s purple and green dress costume from Catwoman. I made it look amazing.
I thought that Catwoman's was a Vera Wang, or did she do another dress for another?
I believe, did Vera Wang do Jean Grey's dress in the 90s? I know a famous designer did it.
No, I wonder who did Mary Jane's back in the 90s.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
We ask you, listeners, please tell us. But anyways,
us all about wedding dresses.
So more details. We should actually talk about the book itself outside of it. Be like, it's fine. Yeah. So there's a whole bunch of assassins in Gotham, including Deathstroke, Cheshire, Malcolm Merlyn, who I always actually like seeing classic Merlyn. That's divorced from.
I love seeing Cheshire.
Cheshire's always a fun villain.
I'm a big fan of Cheshire.
And a new villain named Mr. Teeth, who threw me for a loop because my brain saw the two words together and autocorrected it to Dr. Teeth. And I was really hoping it'd be a Muppet. But no, it's just
like the Electric Man was going to fall out of the closet in full form.
It was just a guy with like a mojo smile, like.
Yeah, I was like, why is he called Why is he called Dr. Teeth or Mr. Teeth?
It was
like,
Mr. Teeth.
Oh, it's probably for something horrible.
And turns around, he's got bad teeth.
Yeah.
And Lucius Fox is now filling Alfred's role since Alfred's deceased. And
Batman did call him Alfred.
Yeah, and that was a nice little sad moment. Yeah. I kind of was hoping the book would be a lot more about Bruce dealing with Alfred's death than it wound up being. We'll see. It's got time to do that, but I'm kind of just going to check out a Batman for a minute. No shade on Tynion and Daniel, but it really just does feel like a filler arc until Batman 100 rolls around. Although Jorge Jimenez is hopping on the book at a certain point. I do love his art.
Oh, yeah? What's he done?
He was doing Justice League with Scott Snyder. He was doing Rebirth Superman. He did Super Sons. Really fun, kind of heavily manga influenced art.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I like him a lot.
I don't know how I feel about that.
I'm curious to see him on Batman. I think he could do something cool with it.
And honestly, when going into this, it kind of felt like I was looking at Jim Lee's Batman for a moment.
Yeah, Daniel is very like he's not one of like the original Image guys, but he's one of those early, heavily influenced by the Image guys.
Yeah.
And I think he actually did go over to Image pretty quickly because he worked on Curse of Spawn for a hot minute.
Spawn.
Me pulling out that Spawn trivia from the deepest
I can't believe
of
you
my
pulled
brain.
Spawn out.
I read entirely too much Spawn. That's one of my great regrets in life is how much Spawn I read when I was like,
when we did
20.
Our best of issues, I figured, we should do like our most hated characters. But I think, didn't we do that a while back?
I mean, we've definitely roasted Carnage multiple times.
No, and he deserves
He's the bottom.
Or Sentry.
Yeah, I love the Sentry. I don't love how he's treated all the time, but I do love the Sentry as a core concept.
But as far as as far as Image comics go, Spawn is right up there on the top of my hate list.
I don't hate Spawn. I've read too much Spawn to hate Spawn.
You poor bastard.
He's better than Badrock.
Oh, there's so many things worse.
Shaft. Shaft is the worst 90s Image character. As someone who loves him some John Shaft, like
I try not to talk about Rob Liefeld too much just because everything he touches is awful. And oh god, there was a news piece that dropped where he was like, "Oh wow, Prophet has been signed on for a movie deal," and it showed a picture of him, and I'm like, "That looks like the same crap you've been drawing since the 90s." Wow. Face thing, it looks like Shatterstar. Check. Shoulder pads, it look like Cable. Check. Split colored pants, it look like everybody from Youngblood. Check. And pouches.
I know someone cool worked on Prophet eventually. I'm struggling to remember, but I remember a few years ago there was a Prophet reboot that was supposed to be really good. I haven't gotten to check it out.
Isn't it the same guy that did Moon Knight for a hot minute in the mid 90s? That was like a big deal.
Oh, Splat? Stephen Platt?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. I'm honestly not super familiar with Prophet.
Unless we talk about Rob Liefeld, but
yeah, we should move on. Batman 86, fine.
Let's talk about what you read, and I did not read.
I love this book. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 101, the start of a new clean slate, but it's still maintaining the prior 100 issues of continuity. Mm-hmm. It is written and drawn by Sophie Campbell. She had previously worked on Gem and the Holograms, is where I knew her from, but I know she's got a much deeper body of work.
Where you knew her from?
Oh, yeah, I saw her the covers. I didn't read Gem and the Holograms, but I had buddies who did, and I was like, wow, that's really good art.
I got to pay more attention to your references.
Almost convinced me to pick up Gem and the Holograms, but I never quite got there. But her turtle designs are phenomenal. They look so good. I got to show just some quick shots of the turtles here.
I'm seeing it from here because it's on your spread.
Yeah,
it does seem to have like the same kind of title marquee that the original issues had.
Yes, yeah, they're maintaining that font. But one of the biggest things about this new run is the introduction of Jenica, who was a foot soldier assassin who was bleeding out, and one of the turtles, can't remember who it was, gave her a blood transfusion and turned her into a turtle.
Oh, so she's the female turtle.
Yes.
Everyone has always talked about.
And she's got these cool Wolverine claws as her weapon. She's got a yellow headband.
Oh, is that who the yellow headband is?
Yes.
I know there was 5 in that picture there.
And she's a big focus of this issue. So spoiler alert for TMNT 100. Splinter died at the end of the last run. And so the Turtle Boys it's 6 months on. They're pretty broken up about it. Like, Leo is like all focused on his training. Mikey has been like taking care of this cat and getting like kind of obsessive about it. Donnie's doing machines.
And
Raph has ran away from the group.
I saw that coming.
And he's wearing a black mask and doing some vigilante work in Mutant Town, because one of the big things from the prior run was a big gene bomb going off and turning a ton of citizens of New York into
mutants.
Yes. And so that's where Raph's hanging out. Jenica is helping out in there as well. And she meets up with Mona Lisa, not Venus de Milo.
Oh.
Mona Lisa, she's like a lizard character. And I think she was an early attempt to like kind of float the idea of a female turtle.
Yeah, because I know that there's 2 previous attempts.
Yeah.
And Venus de Milo was one of them.
Mm-hmm. The live action one who had a braided mask. Yeah.
Yeah. Which it kind of breaks from the idea because the 4 turtles are all named after Renaissance artists. And Venus de Milo is a statue name.
Yes.
So failure.
Janica gets away with it because she was an established character beforehand.
Yeah, of course, obviously.
Yeah. But when you're going from the ground up, like, come on, I'm sure there is a famous woman Renaissance artist they could have used, or even like a modern artist could have been cool.
Yeah, Mary Shelley.
Yeah, I mean, not really an artist, but well, yeah, like a writer.
Yeah, that's like badass. One of the earliest, really influential horror writers.
And you know, they're big, strong, and green, like Frankenstein.
Exactly.
But anyways,
so what are your parting shots on this?
I loved it. I'm going to keep going with it, which is the highest compliment I can give a book.
Yes, this is quite true, actually.
In this very crowded, constantly buying books every week.
You've got an expensive habit, my friend.
It's a high compliment for me to actually keep going with a book. So
God, this looks like actually my buying habit. I was doing $300 to $400 a month on comics. It was disgusting.
And that's when comics were like $2.
Yeah, I had like stacks of them and I would just tear through them. And I was like, when I realized, you know what? I'm at a time where I need to start looking at my money, and I had to start cutting it. And I cut it like $200 and then I just cut it to 100 and there you go.
Yeah. Well, and with that, we're going to talk about, you didn't read TMNT 101, but I did. And I didn't read this next book, but you did. And you have very opposite feelings on it as I did to TMNT.
Yeah. Okay, so back in Captain Marvel, they introduced this new character called Star. The whole idea, it was a background character, a journalist that was interviewing Captain Marvel, and she got wrapped up in something, and she was gifted abilities. I think Minerva, Dr. Minerva, gifted her Kree abilities. Mm-hmm. I mean, with proper intentions. I mean, it's a big, deep thing, but Minerva did it to help the Kree people.
When will we get a villain named Creation?
Oh, stop it. Never say that again. So we got Star, who on paper kind of looks like Starlight from The Boys. That's kind of where I'm going.
I was going to say she's kind of looks like a Diet Power Girl design, but...
Exactly. Yeah. Lots of white, a little bit of red.
Actually, it reminds me exactly of... I'm sorry, Rob, we need to get another image on here, but do you remember George Perez's Power Girl redesign from the New 52 that wound up getting scrapped?
Yeah, with the stripe down her side and a full body suit.
Yeah, and it was sleeveless, and it had like the big red triangle logo.
I actually had
Very
that.
Similar.
I had a figure of that when it first came out. Hated it, but I love me some Power Girl, so I had to accept it. I was like, you know what? It's a full body suit. It's progressive, and I should support this kind of progressive character design. But the more I looked at it, I'm like,
it's a bad design.
I just don't like it. Give me some Amanda Connor Power Girl, please. And my wishes were granted.
Yeah. Now, continue on Star.
Yeah, Star. This felt like a comic that didn't need to happen. And when I heard this book was announced, I had just finished reading her stint on Captain Marvel. Okay, so Star has the reality gem embedded in her chest. Doesn't really know how to use it, but enough to kind of be slightly dangerous. She kicked Captain Marvel's ass, but during the course of kicking Captain Marvel's ass, she started drawing power from New Yorkers that were near the fight. So she was dropping them left and right. And so you can see her reputation going straight down the tubes. And then she just went straight full villain. She didn't care that she was doing what she was doing to New Yorkers because she wanted power. Excuse me. She wanted power to kick Captain Marvel's ass. She wanted power to do whatever she wanted. She was your typical villain. You know, I've been run down this entire time. Now here's my opportunity to shine, and I don't care who has to suffer for it. I'm like, the more I'm reading about it, it's like, how is Marvel doing a spinoff on this character? She's completely unlikable.
I do love me a good villain book, though.
I do too. You know, I love a villain book. This did not count.
Aww.
This did not count. So we get this issue. She's on the run. She's escaped the raft, as you are wont to do. Mm-hmm. And she's found a pop-up bar with no name, which I thought that was kind of amusing.
I like that.
And she's talking about the facts like, this place smells, and it smells like ham. How does it smell like ham? Oh, and the drinks are disgusting. And that's when she decides to go out and gets completely ganked by Loki, who says over and over, listen, I know what I'm doing here looks villainous. It looks evil, because he's like trying to get the reality stone out of her. But I swear to you, I'm doing this for your good, and reality's good. Does it look evil? Okay, yes, it does look evil. I swear that I'm not doing this because I'm evil. He keeps doing this over and over. Loki was probably the shining spot of this book. I could have enjoyed the entire book of just him following her around and from his viewpoint.
And I'm glad they're following up on that, because I really liked Loki and Jerry Dugan's Infinity Saga from a couple years ago, where he was at a center point of all of the Infinity Stone stuff. So I'm glad they're keeping that continuity.
They were specifically throwing back to that, so much so that when he was talking, they put that little star and says, see Loki from the Infinity Wars. So I mean, this was obviously a reference to that.
That's cool. I like that.
So apparently there's two people that have stones in them.
There's the Time Stone guy. Can't remember what his name is.
Time Stone guy who I forgot his name. He has a name that resonates with another character.
And he's got he also has a superhero name, I think.
Yeah.
It's not Rewind, but something similar to that.
So anyway, she gets away from Loki. She uses the Reality Stone to completely vaporize him, which doesn't work because Loki was kind of using a simulacrum. So it kind of comes out of shadows and goes, wow, that would have sucked if I was really there. Kind of one of those routines.
Classic Loki.
Yeah. So she gets into other fights with other people, and she's starting to kind of use the Reality Stone. She gets into a fight with Titania in the bar with no name and tries to use her abilities on that. She runs into Jessica Jones, not realizing that Jessica Jones is best friends with Captain Marvel.
I did see that scene, and that was really good. That made me want to read the book, actually.
It was the same kind of confusion that a lot of people have, because Captain Marvel has two best friends. They're both named Jessica. One's named Drew, Spider-Woman, and you got Jones, Jessica Jones.
Which might actually...
She thought Jessica Drew was her only best friend. So she came to Jessica Jones, hey, I need you to help me. Why would I help you? I'm Captain Marvel's best friend. And she goes, are you serious?
Which is kind of funny, because Jessica Jones was originally pitched as a Jessica Drew book.
It was.
Yeah.
And they ended up scrapping it because they wanted to use Drew in another book. And I was like, well, we've still got this great idea I want to do with Alias. It's like, well, make one up.
It is funny that Bendis did wind up getting complete control of Spider-Woman within a couple of years of Alias as well.
Yes. And that's just this really sad thing, is that while Star herself is completely unlikable as a character, it seems like all of her guest stars in the book are that much better. Like Jessica Jones, her part, hilarious.
Well, Kelly Thompson, great writer. She actually recently wrote Jessica Jones. She was handpicked by Brian Michael Bendis to be his replacement.
She's writing Star?
Yeah, she's writing Star.
That explains why they were hearkening back to her, because Star tries to use the Reality Stone by saying, you want to help me. It's the one thing you want to do.
Yeah,
and Jones is like, that. I can't believe you just tried mind control on me.
God, that was really good.
I'm going to beat you senseless, but I'm still going to help you. But I'm going to beat you bloody. So that was great. I really enjoyed that. Honestly, I would read Star if they kept bringing in other characters to riff off of her.
Yeah.
But if they actually had a book where it just focused on Star, her character development, all that other stuff, I'm out.
Well, that is a key part of becoming a Marvel character, is you have to get ingratiated into the universe. So
they got some work to do.
Yeah.
Because at the end, I was like, I still dislike this woman. I still do. But I like all the people that they brought in, like Titania. It was great to see Titania again. It was great to see Jessica Jones in a nice, clean book instead of that noir look they always give her, or that under inked thing where she's like in a background. She just doesn't have enough lines to actually show that she's Jessica Jones.
I'll not take this Michael Gaydos hate, sir. The man's a wizard.
Whatever. So that Star hate aside, we're going back to a book that we both love.
Oh, yes. Oh, Amazing Spider-Man 37. Ryan Ottley's back on the book. And my God, like after 6 months, or not 6 months, Jesus, after like 6 issues of that really boring 2099 arc.
What a sleeper.
Yeah, no kidding. It is.
And it's not a sleeper in a good way.
No. It's so nice to have a fun kinetic Spidey story that's building towards the bigger plot. It does have elements of the 2099 story. The little future teller machine that Spidey gets in that is a big part of this.
Yeah.
It's letting him like, oh, cool. I can like solve problems like before they happen. So he stops like a bodega from burning down. He's able to get the jump on Stegron.
Very Minority Report.
Yes. And there's even a little bit where he's like, yeah, normally this kind of future stuff doesn't really work out too well. Like in Civil War 2.
Yeah, exactly.
And there's a fun bit where he's asking a lot of superheroes, like, what do I do with this machine? And two of them, one is Iron Man saying, what did Carol say? And one is Captain Marvel saying, what did Tony say? Which I thought was very fun.
I like the fact that Carol and Tony have largely healed their rift from Civil War 2.
Yeah, but then Carol chunked Tony into space and tore him in half, and that ruled.
What?
Remember in Captain Marvel?
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Well, I thought that was the automaton.
Yeah, it was, but it was still satisfying to read.
Oh, Jesus. That's right. You hate Iron Man.
I do not care
totally
for old Iron Man.
This.
But anyways, the big plot thing in this issue is another little Kindred tease, which I still think it's some form of a Peter Parker soul portion. That's still my go-to answer. And he brings back a very long dead character, the Sin Eater.
I saw the reveal on that. The old Green Hood.
The villain of one of my favorite Spidey arcs by Peter David.
Is this the DeWolf Sin Eater?
The one who killed DeWolf? I believe so. They didn't name him specifically, but he's the only Sin Eater that matters, you know?
Yeah.
The one that, what is his name? Oh,
I forgot his name. I just know that he killed Jean DeWolf.
Yeah, and that he plays into Venom's origin because Eddie Brock thought he was interviewing the Sin Eater, but it turns out it was the Sin Eater's neighbor who thought he was the Sin Eater.
And that kind of screwed him over
his career.
Yeah.
But I'm excited to see what Kindred does with the character, and I'm so glad Ryan Ottley's back on the book. I know he's not drawing the next issue, but in a couple issues down the line, we do get I think 3 consecutive issues from him.
Okay.
But enough with gushing about Spider-Man. Now it's time to gush about Hulk.
We'll gush about Hulk. So now we got Immortal Hulk, number 29. We still got our boy the Minotaur who loves
Dario
squishy
Agger.
things.
Yes,
nearly squishes yet another head.
A lot of blood.
A lot of blood came out of that boy's head.
But the man does not die.
I would not deliver news to this guy within arm's reach.
At least wear a helmet.
Just the man use a radio.
Just text it to him.
Yeah, he's not going to pull that Vader. I always thought that it was really impressive that Vader could kill people through a view screen. I was like, where the hell is Admiral Niet? I mean, it's like he's just a random place across the way. He's like, kill this guy through TV.
So wait, now that raises actually an interesting question for me that I'd never thought about before. So Nightcrawler's whole thing is he needs line of sight, right?
Well, he needs to know where he's going.
Yeah. So if he's looking at a TV screen, can he teleport there?
Yes.
Oh, cool. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
That is pretty cool. I love Nightcrawler so much.
But anyways, here the Hulk and Co. are faced with the problem of Roxxon unleashing 4 big ass kaijus in different cities.
They have great names. Harryhausen, Lovecraft, O'Brien, and
Bradbury.
Yeah, which are all literary references.
Yes, all great monster designers. Obviously Lovecraft and Bradbury, the 2 authors, and then Ray Harryhausen, the
miniatures.
Yes, exactly. And O'Brien is the man who designed the King Kong puppet.
That's impressive. Lovecraft is not eaten. That works for me.
Keep him hungry. And yeah, so Agger teleports these monsters into different cities, specifically timed while the Avengers, the FF, and I think the Champions as well are name dropped, are either off planet or otherwise occupied.
Yeah, because they were doing this on largely the West Coast. And Champions is like, well, those are East Coast. It's going to take them forever to even respond to this kind of thing. It was kind of interesting, though, that he did mention Champions as in they were a real threat.
Yeah.
But they're on the East Coast. I'm not going to worry about them too much.
And so the Hulk is forced into action and
he's forced to be a hero.
Yes.
But you see him have some serious misgivings about.
I'm loving Roxxon's these machinations they have. Just how they're playing Hulk, how they're testing the waters with PR. I'm still so curious what they're going to do with Zenmu, the living Hulk.
Yeah, they keep hinting on him. I don't know. I kind of expected Hulk to land and get in their belly and just bust out and that'd be the end of it. I mean, that's what you deal with when you've got Hulk and a large monster. He's going to get in their colon, wherever, be a nice place, and exit. And that's going to be the end of that guy. So that's how I'm expecting this next issue to go. I'm expecting we're going to see some exploding kaiju.
Oh, I'm very excited.
And knowing the reputation of the art of this book,
Joe Bennett never disappoints.
I'm willing to bet dollars to pesos we're getting exploding kaiju in the next book.
We're going to get some good gore. Hopefully.
Some super good gore. And I bet you he gets maybe some stomach acid damage.
I was about to say, we haven't gotten anything as gnarly as the Abomination art in a while.
Yeah.
When this Abomination stomach acid melted Hulk's face off.
Yeah, we gotta see some kaiju he's covered in acid and skeletal and busting out. That would make a great spread. If I was an editor and I was in this and I was like, wait, you just brought in kaiju? This is what you're gonna do. This is by issue 12, you're doing this.
And then out of spite, Joe Bennett won't do it, but do something even better.
Well, I hope he ratchets it up. I'm really actually expecting we're going to see some really horrible stuff in this next one, because this is clearly a setup. We got 4 monsters, 4 monsters to kill in unique ways. That's what really this is all about. You can't kill one monster in one unique way and call it a book. No, you got to get really biblical and introduce 4 of them.
I really hope we get to see Samson, Betty, and Sasquatch out in the field.
Now, I'm a little late coming to Immortal Hulk, and I saw an interaction that didn't make sense to me.
Okay.
Betty was talking to Leonard, and they were eating, but when Bruce walks in, she immediately shifts to Red Harpy and just kind of screeches at him, "We're eating." Yeah,
Betty, through this book, they haven't dove super deep into it, but that's just been a character thing for Betty, is that she just does not want to, she refuses to talk to Banner as Betty. She only wants to talk to him, she's only comfortable talking to him as Red Harpy.
Why is that?
We don't know yet.
Huh.
I mean,
it was a weird, just immediate transformation.
Yeah,
and it felt like she was screeching at it.
I think it's a really cool character bit, and I'm excited to see it explored further. I really hope we get a Betty one shot or something down the line.
Yeah,
we are getting, and I'm actually very excited for this, a Tom Taylor written Immortal Hulk Immortal Spider Hulk one shot. So I'm excited to see that, because Spidey did once upon a time have gamma radiation flowing through his blood.
Oh, that's right.
In the pages of Web of Spider-Man.
That's true. I want Red She-Hulk back.
Red Harpy's so cool, though.
Red She-Hulk is better.
I love Red She-Hulk, but come on, that Red Harpy design, it's so badass. I love
that connection on her mouth.
Her dislocating jaw. I love how hunched over it is. I love that she still wears the basic Red She-Hulk costume too.
Oh, she does?
Yeah, she's still got
the purple
black
bodysuit,
the black vest. Yeah.
Okay. I just really like the way that Red She-Hulk worked off of other people. I liked that she was in Fearless Defenders for a while. I like the fact that she got to keep her Uru's sword for a while. She just had really potential to be a good character. Maybe need a little bit of a name change, because she's got a busy name. Red She-Hulk.
Red Harpy.
Well, Red Harpy works. But I mean, Red She-Hulk, you got 3 words going on there.
I'm just mostly amazed that Ewing and Bennett have managed to make Harpy as a concept work for me, because it always felt like a very a very sexist take on when a woman becomes a Hulk monster. She's such a Harpy. Very outdated, but they've made her into such a terrifying badass. I love it.
Well, maybe I just need to be exposed to this a bit more, because I mean, like I said, I did come into this really late.
Yeah, you got to jump in. It's she first shows up at the beginning of the Abomination arc, and I think you jumped in at the end of the Abomination arc.
I jumped in right around the time that the second Abomination was acid burning his own boys.
Yeah,
that's when I showed up.
Yeah, so you got to go to the arc before that. Actually, this might be a good idea. Casey's Ketchup.
Casey's Ketchup
might be a good spin-off show.
Oh yeah, that's what I need. More work. Yes.
But now we're on to always the funnest bit of the show, the X coverage.
We love us some X coverage.
How about Rogue's new costume?
Damn.
An Excalibur #5 by Tini Howard and Marcus Toe. Oh my God.
It feels like it's Jim Lee's outfit, but it's got some seriously dark greens on it. I like the wrap jacket that she had on it, even though she did both versions.
As a noted, not a big fan of Rogue. I've long thought that she has a string of very terrible costumes. My favorite one probably being the Silvestri one, or it was the black bodysuit with the green tank top, and
I hated that outfit.
I love that outfit. It's the only Rogue. Well, that, and I liked the X-Men Legacy one where it had the hood. Oh, that was a good costume. I do not like the Jim Lee costume.
I love the Jim Lee costume. I didn't like the big hair that was on it.
I like the big hair. do not like the banana yellow outfit.
I love that yellow.
I don't like it.
It's nice and green. It's got like clean lines.
Green
I just
and
didn't
black.
like that. Two
colors.
That's the outfit that they also used in the X-Men animated series. Whenever they drew her, she always had this mile-high hair.
Yeah, it ruled.
I didn't like that. I don't know.
Anyways,
so we have a variation of that now that we both can agree that works.
It rules. It's got the color scheme I like with some of the lines of the Lee costume.
Mm-hmm.
Very good. And a really nice little appearance from Rachel. I really liked that.
Rachel was in there. I didn't see this.
And in like her dreamscape, they specifically call her, like, there's the fiery dog that leads her through that journey. And then she calls the dog Phoenix, and she's like, I ain't calling the dog Rachel.
I have to admit, I skimmed through this book.
You fool. Missed some great stuff.
You know how much I hate the whole Dryad stuff, and a lot of the story elements for Excalibur in the last issue I didn't really enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
We're here. So I just kind of went, okay, fight. Okay, this is happening. Oh, wow, she just killed Apocalypse. Okay.
Yeah, and it looks like Apocalypse's plan has been to move into Rogue's consciousness.
Yeah.
Because
is this part of his plan to take over the Outworld throne? Is what it's called? Is that Mortal Kombat? Or is it, we're talking Otherworld? It's Otherworld.
Otherworld, yeah.
Otherworld.
And there was a nice Pete Wisdom appearance, which I always appreciate.
Yeah.
And I really dig what they're doing with Richter in this series. I really like tying him into the druids, because Marvel Druid lore, it kind of sucks, and this makes it kind of cooler. I like tying him into Earth magic. I think that's a really interesting take.
I don't know. It didn't really capture me,
and it gives him something to do. You know,
I thought that
a lot of Richter books is just Richter being sad, and I like having Richter.
Yeah, why is Richter always sad?
He's just a sad boy.
He is a sad boy.
I miss his. He's a
confused boy.
I miss his tank top from the '90s with the little spray painted red X.
He's a confused bi boy.
A sweet bi boy.
Because I mean, he was into Rain, and then he was into Shatterstar, and
I mean, I'm still a little. Again, I feel like I bring this up every episode. I'm a little salty that all of Peter David's very good definitive ends for characters have been undone over the last 5 years, and I really liked him and Shatterstar ending up together.
Well, I mean, Shatterstar's kind of show up at some point,
yeah,
especially in this book.
Yeah, for real. Bring it on.
Now we're gonna talk about New Mutants.
Yes.
Oh. God damn.
We're back to the space stuff with Jonathan Hickman and Rod Reis, and oh man, the kids get to fight. Well, I don't know. I call them kids because they're
in their 20s.
They're like my age.
Yeah,
and it rules.
It rules. It totally
so
clown the Death Commandos. Yeah,
they get to fight Shi'ar Death Squad. Clown.
And I was talking about this before we get started. I like the fact that Karma is still in this book.
Yeah,
they haven't written her off, killed her, gotten rid of her, because writing Karma is hard.
Yeah,
you have to know what you're doing if you're going to bring Karma in here, because she has story ending abilities. Mm-hmm. I've got the ability to possess it. Boom. Okay, done. Moving on. I mean, this is the reason why Chris Claremont wrote her out in back in the 80s with issue 4. This is the reason why she always found herself on the outs in all of the New Mutants reboots.
I think the last New Mutants book, the Rosenberg one, she wasn't even in the field team. She was like the Oracle, basically.
Yeah, they just didn't want to deal with her.
Mm-hmm.
So now here she is in full view, probably doing some of the coolest uses of her ability in years.
Hit yourself. Now say something nice about me.
Your skin is too soft, but I like your shiny leg.
Oh, so good.
Now, we're going to talk about the most outstanding part of this. Do you want to make out with me? No. Do you want to make out with me? No. Do you want to make out with me? A little, but I'm working. Well... It was flight, and you made the wrong choice.
One last question: Are any of you human? No. Good, because magic will not break the first rule of Krakoa.
Yes, exactly.
But she's perfectly fine with killing some aliens.
And I swear to God, the fact that she did it off screen in one frame. Are you human? No. Next frame, we just lost them.
And I really loved. I loved Mondo and Jonathan just being like, "Oh, they're fighting aliens out there. Not our fight. It's just chill. Get space drunk."
I love the fact that Roberto still kind of has the heart of this book. A lot of it's told from his vantage point. All of our boys and our girls are able to kick ass using all their abilities, and they knew that the New Mutants purists in us wanted this fight, because they took Chamber and they took Mondo. And I put them in the back and told them just to chill out for this.
As someone who's more of a Gen X fan than a New Mutants fan, I really love that too. I'm looking forward to them. I really want to see the reunion with Sync and Skin.
I can see
and
that
Husk.
because Gen X that's your generation's Young X-Men, while New Mutants was mine. So I completely understand that. And I love Gen X.
Yeah, it's a great book.
I still do. I'm excited to see what they do with Sync.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he's gonna be in the next issue, maybe not the next issue of X-Men, but down the line he's gonna show up in the main X.
It's like X-Men number 6 or X-Men 7.
Yeah,
and he's wearing his classic colors.
And the New Mutants book is going to like directly cross over with the main X-Men book, even more so than they already do. Because like, have you seen it's one of the later X-Men covers where it's got Scott fighting side by side with Ileana, Rain, and Karma.
Oh, cool.
And yeah.
Now,
apparently the New Mutants will be coming back to Earth pretty soon.
The last time I really enjoyed a New Mutants book, it was still kind of enjoying it. Maybe not. It wasn't the best, but I was still reading it because it was representing my favorite team. And that's the one where they brought in, oh God, what is her name? Blink? Mm-hmm. Like in the very last issue.
Oh, wow.
I was like, oh yeah, Blink, you can join the team. And all of a sudden, issue's over, series over.
I really liked, I think this was around AVX, maybe a bit before or after, when Mephisto goes on a date with Magma.
Yes.
Very fun issue.
And no one liked that. But
yes.
Magma's like, I could take care of myself. But no, I think it's a demon. He seems like a nice guy.
I'm trying to remember who's working on the book. I think it was Abnett and Lanning with maybe David LaFuente doing art.
And that had Empath in it, didn't it?
Yes. Yeah. And that's been a minute. That's probably been like 10 years at this point.
And our boy Empath is going to be showcasing that new book that's coming up.
Yes, very soon.
I'm spacing on the titles of it.
Is it Hellions?
Yes.
Yeah, Hellions.
Because it's got a lot of our bad boys all put in there.
Yeah, I like the creative team. I'm not super jazzed about the actual lineup. Oh, I'm still going to give it a shot, though.
I'm not jazzed about the lineup for obvious reasons, but we won't go into just again.
And for our last X book this week, it's tough competition between this and New Mutants, what was my favorite this week. But
because X-Force and New Mutants have really brought the pain.
X-Force ruled. Oh
X-Force.
My God. What a great showing.
And we were right. Wolverine survived that thing and fought nearly the entire book in half.
Yeah. Oh, it was so good. That panel where the people find out that Wolverine's still alive and it's Logan like is impaled on a dude and he just has the most sinister grin I've ever seen Wolverine give.
And he still got his guts hanging out and stuff like that. I was like, well, kill it. They shoot him the hell up.
Yeah.
They show you how much damage they've done. I was like, ooh, that's a lot of damage. And yet Forge still comes out of the portal. Torso, legs, and hand are like, squish. Putting his boy together.
just gotta slap him back together.
Forge is using like these weird organic weapons.
I love Forge's like biotech he has.
Yeah, so I'm gonna save the best toys for me.
It's like this weird plant bug walker thing. Oh, it's so cool.
I like the fact that he actually addresses why sometimes you don't see him for a long period of time, but then sometimes he shows up because, I'm in my lab, but every once in a while I gotta get out in the field just once and show how badass I am.
But when will we get the most important Forge element, which is, of course, his short shorts?
Oh, we
gotta get those Barry Smith short shorts. Where are they?
I know the other short shoes. Okay, so the image is this from the old days.
Life Death.
Life Death.
One of the all-time great issues.
Yeah, where there were that was really the kind of the fallout with Storm coming to terms with Forge's involvement in her depowerment.
Yes, and that's when she finds out too.
Yeah.
It's such a good issue.
And he was wearing him some 80s short shorts.
Mm-hmm. It's a key part to Forge for me. But yeah, X-Force, the book rules. I'm after having a kind of lukewarm first issue, Percy and Cassara, I've just been bringing it more and more every issue. This is what I wanted from an X-Force book.
Out of all the Hickman Hickman overarching books, X-Men, X-Force, and New Mutants have been the ones that have been knocking out of the park consistently with each issue.
I like Excalibur a lot, but it's definitely not on that same level.
Not even close.
Yeah. And New Mutants gets like, as much as I enjoy the Ed Brisson side story, like whenever Hickman and Reis come back, just knocked out of the park.
Exactly. The side story was okay. But it wasn't okay for us to even really talk about it. I remember when we were bringing it up, it's like,
it's fun, but
when we go back to Berto and Cannonball, we're like, that's the way to go. He's talking about how he's trying to keep in his best friend's good graces by giving his kid present after present. Am I buying my way into my friend's good graces? Yeah. Am I okay with it? Yep. Yeah. And this kid's going to love me until the day he dies.
So yes, shocking news. The X-Books rule.
I know. And I honestly feel like I'm getting the vibe of my New Mutants back that I had way back in the 80s when I was a kid. And I'm exceedingly happy about that. And I'm hoping it can keep this kind of energy up.
Ooh, actually, that should be the first thing we talk about after the break is the New Mutants trailer.
We could talk about that.
And with that, here's a word from our sponsors.
Hey, this is Brooke with Haphazard Fiction, and welcome to episode 19 of Hazardous Materials, last week's comics this week. Casey, Gideon, myself, and Robert are all here doing our best to bring you a really good episode every week. So thank you for tuning in. We really appreciate your support. We appreciate you checking us out. If you've got it in you, please do us the favor. Give us some comments. Give us some subscribes. Give us some likes. Help us understand what it is you're looking for in a comic book podcast. If there's titles that you would really love us to cover that maybe we're missing, let us know. We definitely have our favorites over here at Hazardous Materials, and maybe they don't obviously line up with yours, but love to hear your comments. Love to see what you would like to see from us going forward. But as usual, thank you for tuning in, and I'm going to take you back to Casey and Gideon with Hazardous Materials.
And welcome back. And as promised, we're talking about something that's been, 2 years now since the last one of these guys? The trailer for New Mutants.
Yeah, we actually got another trailer.
Yeah, and looks great.
Yeah,
looks
it was actually good.
Yeah. Oh my God, Magik's armored arm and the sword.
It gave me promise.
Yeah.
And the sunspot shot.
Oh.
That nailed it.
Yeah. And Lockheed was there.
Was he?
Yeah,
I didn't see that.
Doing the fight with the demon bear. You can see a little purple dragon flying around and breathing fire on him.
God damn, I need to open this thing up and watch it. And see, I watched it on my phone because I wake up, I'm like, hey, new trailers. I'm like, I'm gonna watch it on my phone like an idiot. That's what I did.
I had to have the comment section pointed out, and I was like, what? And I go, oh my God, the little purple dragon.
That's actually very cool. Maybe that's the character they talked about in reshoots that they're going to try.
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly a lot easier to work in than Warlock, who a lot of people were assuming.
From what I saw, Demon Bear looked like Demon Bear.
Yeah. Getting me that Bill Sienkiewicz realness.
I will give it to him. He could draw a Demon Bear.
You can draw a good bear.
You can draw a good bear. And it looked like we also had the Soul Sword going on there. So I'm excited about that. I'm also excited the fact that Illyana seems like Illyana in that trailer. Yeah. I killed 18 people one by one. I was like, damn, that's how I know magic.
all I need is one, I'm not invulnerable and blasting.
Exactly.
My
I need
boy
that
Cannonball.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of which, when I saw this trailer, I felt compelled to write in my old column on Facebook, comic book facts, which I hadn't touched in like a year. But that morning I saw that trailer. I was like, oh, I need to write. And so I wrote a write down of all the characters that are involved in this, because a lot of people that see New Mutants have no idea what these characters are. You're even some of your casual comic book readers don't know who the New Mutants characters are. Why they call the New Mutants? I don't know any of these mutants. Are they X-Men? Maybe
kind of old mutants at this point.
Yeah. So I did a write up on that, which you can find out on www.facebook.com/mycomicbookfacts and tell me what you think. So a little self-grandiose plug there. Hey, if I can't plug myself on my own show, what can I do?
If you ain't self-promoting, you ain't trying.
Exactly. So this trailer was great.
Yes.
Because we finally got to see them using powers, which we didn't get to see in the first trailer. And I think that's the reason why that trailer suffered. And everybody thought, oh, okay, that looks got shit.
I mean, I really like the first trailer. I like the spooky tone for it. But this looks much more kind of a bit more crowd pleasing.
Yeah. It seems to me like Cannonball's powers aren't so much about his flight as is in his explosive ability, which plays better into his origins, because Cannonball used to be a coal miner in Kentucky, and that's how his abilities went off, because he ended up hurting a lot of people by he basically blew himself up.
Not himself, because he is in fact not invulnerable when blasted.
Invulnerable when he's blasting. So now that he's got what appears to be like explosive abilities around his arms, you got the same effect. You're still blowing up a bunch of coal miners.
He does also kind of suffer from having his shtick kind of taken by a Negasonic teenage warhead. And
I notice he's got a cast on his arm too, which I think comes from his origin.
Nigh invulnerability, not full invulnerability.
Not full, just nigh.
But I'm very, very excited for New Mutants. There is some little bit of news fluttering around today. I was like, is it in the MCU? Is it not? I doubt it's going to be, but I really hope it is, because I like all the casting for the kids outside of Berto.
I do know that Marvel did step in and say, we're not going to do what you decided to do with all these reshoots. We're going with the core stuff, because apparently all the reshoots were done against the will of the director.
Yeah.
A lot of 20th Century Fox executives basically stepping in and
they
thinking,
got cold feet over being too spooky.
Exactly. So Disney's decided, you know what? New house, new rules, throwing out all those reboots, and we're doing exactly what the director wants, which Disney, by and part with Marvel, has been doing a lot of that.
We'll actually get back to that point later on in the news story. But we're going to talk about a different trailer that was a very pleasant surprise for me, at least.
Yeah, it was too.
Yeah, new Birds of Prey trailer, which, after the entire production cycle, I have been a naysayer of this movie, but this one kind of sold me on it. Outside of, I still don't like the treatment of Cassie Cain in it.
I don't like the treatment of Cassie Cain. This is also being told as the shortest DCU movie.
Yeah.
Which I can see that.
Yeah, I can dig it.
It's pretty much, here's your plot. This is what we're doing. We're going to have a little bit of fun in between it, and it's going to be over.
There is something to be said for the hour-and-a-half movie. Mm-hmm. It allows me to watch, say, an entire trilogy in one evening, as I just did this weekend with the Austin Powers trilogy. Still hold up.
Does it now?
Outside of Fat Bastard, which is mostly just a kind of boring, gross-out humor.
It really is.
Austin Powers holds up.
I've always been an Austin Powers fan, and I've always been wondering when we're going to get our Dr. Evil film he keeps talking about.
Maybe someday.
Yeah, I did like the Dr. Evil stuff he's been doing on Saturday Night Live in the past few years.
It's been pretty fun. But back to the birds.
Yep.
One of the things I really liked about this trailer was, the jokes landed.
Yep.
Like when Harley dies behind the bags of Coke and then they all get shot up and she that was great. Her slam and cheese whiz, hysterical.
Yeah, and I like the fact that they're trying to point out exactly what's going on here. She's gotten rid of the Joker, and now she's in this crappy mode, and the fact that all the people that she's with are involved.
Yes, and that was another thing I really liked is it gives like a reason for all these characters to be here, and it actually focuses on these other characters for a bit, and not just make it the Harley show.
And it feels like it's a return to Liz Winstead's complete deadpan that we saw in Scott Pilgrim.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. And the canary cry looks awesome.
It did.
I got so hyped. And when Black Canary kicks that guy's head through a car window, that ruled.
Yes, that was a boom.
I was... Journey Small's been the one thing where I was like, this is probably going to be real. Even when I was naysaying, it was like, I think she's going to be really good as Black Canary.
And what did Ewan McGregor do?
He put on the black mask. Which a part of me is wondering, is this going to be the only shots of him in the mask in the movie? But you know what?
He's still getting it.
It really feels like a trailer that they cut in response to a lot of the complaints from the first trailer, which, I can dig that. But, fool me once with trailers, Suicide Squad.
God, the Suicide Squad trailer was so damn good.
It slapped.
And when it got it, it was like... I still enjoy Suicide Squad to a certain degree.
I like the deleted scene where it's Boomerang trying to get everyone to mutiny. That like 2.5 minutes. I'm like, all right, that's all I need from Suicide Squad movie.
And I like the extended bar scene.
Not crazy about the extended cut.
I did like the extended bar scene. I think it's
fine.
I think it added more gravitas to their personalities.
There's a lot worse stuff in the extended cut. Ugh. Our Suicide Squad. Don't get me started on Suicide Squad.
The trailer still stands up, but the trailer is a good example of how we can just totally wow you with a trailer and bring you in and you're like, we're going to give you 75% of what you want.
I did really, and the end joke also really landed with her new hyena, Bruce, named after that hunky Wayne guy.
I love the noise that hyena made.
It's very cute. And
is that a hyena in a bathtub?
Yes. A sweet boy. But moving along to something a little kind of unfortunate, but something that I think is interesting in the comics realm. Mm-hmm. So DC's Black Label generally a hit machine. Like,
usually.
Yeah. But there's been one book that has kind of been notably lagging, and that is Joker Harley Criminal Insanity, which kind of reframes the Joker and Harley story into a kind of like Criminal Minds thing, where Harley is this like criminal profiler brought in to help catch this crazy serial killer, the Joker.
It's my least favorite of the Black Label stuff.
It ain't great. I love Mike Mayhew's art, and I love seeing him active in comics again, but this ain't it.
Now
this
we got
ain't
this.
it, Chief.
So now we're hearing that your boy isn't going to be.
Yeah, he's off issue 3, and issue 3 has been delayed again. Like, the book's been getting hit by delays. It's only got 2 issues out, and
we got 9 issues to go.
Yeah,
9 issues total. I mean,
that's the wild thing to me, is that every other Black Label book has been like a quick 3-4 issues. Mm-hmm. This one was greenlit for initially 12 issues and then cut back to 9. I don't know if they're going to make it all the way to those 9 issues. Yeah,
I didn't realize that there was such a limited run on some of these. I mean, you did break my heart when you told me that Amanda Connor's drawing Harley Quinn and the Birds of Prey is only getting a one shot. Yeah. That broke my heart.
Stefan Sajic's Harleen was just 3 issues. Wonder Woman Death Earth is just going to be 4. Damned was just 3. Superman Year 1 was just 3. Hellblazer's actually now I think about Hellblazer's an ongoing.
Every
Black
time I
Label
hear
book.
Batman Damned on my head, it's Batman Donged.
The Batawang.
We are 12.
It is. Yeah. So it's just fascinating though to me that this book is just kind of bombing a line that otherwise, like them or not, they're sales juggernauts.
Yeah.
And this one actually has strip cover returns available, which none of the other ones have had. And as someone who is going to have to strip a number of those covers,
oh
it's
God,
suck,
that's going to be a nightmare.
They got those glue bindings. At least most strip cover returns at staple books go knock them out. But this guy going to have to get the X-Acto knife out.
Oh, man. That would break my heart if I had to rip covers off of prestige books.
Yeah, I've
that's
become
just
numb
a crime.
I was going to say I've become numb to it over doing it so many times, but no, not enough publishers do strip cover returns for it to numb me.
I used to work for a computer retailer a long time ago, and we had a return system that involved oftentimes taking a sledgehammer to high-tech stuff, and it broke my heart every time. I'd walk into the back office where they're doing it, and one of my good friends is actually the guy that's doing it, and I'd see him just destroying stuff I would die to take home.
I've had to slam dunk a Sideshow statue to prove to Sideshow that it was destroyed.
Oh my God, that's awful. Retail hell.
Good times. But on some lighter news, Christian Bale is being in talks for Thor: Love and Thunder.
Man, when this thing hit, it hit everywhere. All the news agencies were like, Christian Bale, Christian Bale, Christian Bale. I got hit by my Facebook feed, just go do Christian Bale in this. And then I got one unknown going, by the way, it's Christian Bale as Mephisto. Bullshit.
I thought that'd be cool. I'd be down for Christian Bale as Mephisto.
I would be too, but I don't think that's what we're doing.
A lot of people are clamoring for Beta Ray Bale, but
that's what I've been seeing.
I think Beta Ray Bale's too big of a character, frankly.
Yeah, I don't think it fits with his. Well, but then Christian Bale is a transformative actor.
He will become a horse.
Yeah, I mean, he has gone from the Machinist to Dick Cheney, which is some drastic body manipulation.
Yeah. But I think. Well, at least for me personally, I want to see Beta Ray Bill in multiple movies. And I don't think Christian Bale is going to be jumping on for that 11-picture deal.
You want a good old horse head and everywhere?
I want him everywhere. I want a goddamn Beta Ray Bill franchise.
I don't know why so many people like Beta Ray Bill.
Because he rules. He's great.
Look, my producer loves Beta Ray Bill. I knew I was going to catch some hell for this one.
He's so pure and good. He made the sacrifice for his entire people to take them away from their destroyed world to find a new planet. He went through the horrific, genetic and cybernetic enhancements to make himself look like a horse. His only friend,
horse head.
His only friend is a ship named Scuttlebutt.
I don't know.
Beta Ray Bill rules.
I was kind of let down recently. There was an Alpha Flight spinoff.
Omega Flight?
Omega Flight. That was supposed to be a big deal, and he was supposed to be a part of it. And it just seems like right around the second issue, the whole thing just fell apart.
Yeah, I didn't. I'm not sure what the backstory is. I know I think Matt Fraction worked on it.
It went through. Omega Flight was supposed to be this big ongoing.
Yeah.
And they were going to involve the second Guardian.
U.S. Agent was in there.
And the U.S. Agent was in it.
A bold
and
choice.
The second Guardian, which was that one guy who ended up accidentally killing the original Alpha Flight.
Mm-hmm.
He was now wearing the Guardian outfit. I was like, okay, that's cool. Weapon Omega, who Mimic was watching over during the Dark X-Men thing. I was really let down by this because they even had, we're bringing in Beta Ray Bill.
Yeah.
Beta Ray Bill was in for a guest appearance.
I think there was
in the book.
I think there was a lot of editorial interference behind the scenes on that one.
Had to have been.
Yeah. Which is a damn shame. But Beta Ray Bill still rules. And the character I really want him to play, one of two. And they're both Jason Aaron Thor characters. And this movie's going to be borrowing a lot from Jason Aaron's run with Jane Foster becoming Thor.
Mm-hmm.
But first off is our boy Dario Agger, the Minotaur CEO of Roxxon Industries. Because I want to see him bring that American Psycho energy, but he's a CGI bull.
Yeah, you know what? I was taking a look at a new HeroClix set, which is Captain America and the Avengers.
Is Dario Agger in it?
He is in it.
Is he smashing someone's head in the sculpt?
No, he's human formed.
Oh.
So we're talking about the beginning of it, but it's still got all the keywords and all the abilities that he would have as that. I'm willing to bet that there's probably a Minotaur version of him in there if there's a human version of him in there.
And but other possible option, Gore the God Butcher.
I've seen enough of that.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't really sure what it was. I've done a lot of searches for various heroes and villains, and I've always run into Gore the God Butcher a lot.
It's a Jason Aaron creation. He's in the first Thor arc, which is the only part of Jason Aaron's run that I've actually read. And it's really good. Like you know what his name says. He's the God Butcher.
I still think that Christian Bale's probably going to be a villain.
Yeah. So Gore or Dario. Yeah. I think those are safe bets. I don't think Christian Bale is going to sign on for multiple movie appearances. And even if we just get one movie with Beta Ray Bill, it's not a face role, you know?
Yeah. Okay. We'll see. We'll see if Horsehead can sell it.
just bring back, what's his name? Steve Blum. The voice actor for Beta Ray Bill. I'll be totally down for that.
I wasn't even aware that he even had a voice actor.
Yeah, he's made I don't know if he voiced him in the Planet Hulk movie, but he voiced him on Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes, which is phenomenal and everyone should watch. But there's a Beta Ray Bill episode and it's great. I watched America's
the Avengers thing up until the point where they introduced Captain Marvel and I stopped.
She's so good.
I know, but it's just I didn't really care for how they wrote her afterwards, after the thing, and they didn't really use her that much. And
you should stick with it. Avengers: Earth's Mightiest Heroes is like top tier Marvel cartoon.
I also want to revisit the old Spider-Man cartoon that had White Tiger and Power Man in it.
The Ultimate Spider-Man?
Yeah, is that what it is?
Yeah, not a big fan of that one. Dude, Spectacular. Spectacular is phenomenal. That is the best Marvel cartoon.
I think we've had this discussion before.
Spectacular Spider-Man, Avengers: Mightiest Heroes, Wolverine and the X-Men. They were all supposed to be in continuity with each other, but then Disney bought Marvel and killed all of them.
Oh, and that's right. Wolverine and the X-Men was killed by that.
Yep.
The Marvel buyout.
That's
the reason why they only got one season. And that was a great one.
I'm rewatching it right now, and it rules.
I was too, actually.
100%. Disney Plus, baby. Just put Spectacular Spider-Man on there, and all's good.
Yeah, you not part of the Mando drop?
No.
I've not yet dropped Disney Plus. I'm giving it a chance.
My girlfriend's family has it, so I'm not paying for it.
Oh, well, there you go. Yeah, I've actually got to pay for it. Okay, so what else we got? Oh.
Yeah, this is actually circling back to the statement that the MCU lets directors do what they want. Scott Derrickson left Doctor Strange 2. I was very disappointed in that because while Doctor Strange is a bottom tier MCU movie for me, I really like Scott Derrickson as a director.
You know, every time you say that, part of Brooke's soul dies.
We actually had a nice conversation about it earlier that it's not that great of a movie.
Brooke is our producer. I need to explain that. I was walking in today to do a recording and I noticed that he had the reality gem inside the Eye of Agamotto hanging from like his air conditioning unit or some crap like that. I was like, I expect that to be here.
But yeah. And after I didn't love the first movie, but I was hoping that, okay, like Derrickson is like, you know, he played ball, made the studio movie, and maybe they'll give him more freedom in the next one. And I was even more excited when he was like, it's going to be the MCU's first horror movie because Scott Derrickson, first and foremost, horror director. He did Sinister, Exorcism of Emily Rose, and a movie that I will cheerlead for until the end of time, written and directed by him, Hellraiser 5, Inferno.
Well, you know, maybe his vision on horror is just too extreme. And the fact that he's got that pedigree when it comes to horror. He's got a particular step up that he has to achieve. It just wasn't viable.
Yeah. I remember Feige immediately walking back when Derrickson said it's the MCU's first horror movie. He's like, it'll have horror elements. And I was like, I don't like that.
I'm okay with it having horror elements because, this Doctor Strange movie, while you think it's bottom tier, for Phase 4, it's top tier. This is a big deal. This is an anchor film.
Hot take, Infinity War is a better introduction to the character.
For
Doctor Strange. He does a lot cooler stuff in it, and I get a lot better vibe for him.
I don't know. I really enjoyed the Doctor Strange movie.
I do not like the Doctor Strange movie.
Wow.
With one thing, exact same plot as the Green Lantern movie, and now you can't unsee that. Beat for beat, it's the same movie.
I don't know. I enjoyed it. I thought it was cool, and I was curious to see what they were going to do. I do know that this Multiverse Madness is an anchor film for a lot of changes. There's a lot
riding on this movie, and it starts filming in May?
Has to.
Like they gotta fill those boots real quick. But on the bright side, Derrickson is still attached as executive producer, so
and I've also heard
some of his voice gets in there.
I've heard a lot of potential other directors, which unfortunately my brain won't allow me to remember, who are tagged onto this, who can be just as good, if not better. I mean, we all thought that Ant-Man was going to tank it.
I was very upset when Edgar Wright departed.
I was too, but a lot of his elements ended up still staying in the script.
I really love the first Ant-Man movie. I'll go to bat for that movie day and night.
I couldn't tell you what the director's name was.
Peyton Reed.
Who the hell is that?
Did a lot of rom-coms before.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And he has been jockeying to do a Fantastic Four movie since the mid 2000s, since they were doing the Fantastic Four movies.
Well, I mean, as well as Ant-Man did, maybe we could give this guy a Fantastic Four job. I mean, he couldn't do any worse than the others.
Yeah, it could be fun.
Fantastic Four stick.
Oh my God. And you actually brought this Star Trek news to me and brought a tear to my eye.
It did for me too. So there's been a lot of back and forth on whether Star Trek is really going to get a fourth movie. More importantly, whether it's going to get a fourth movie with the Kelvin timeline.
Yes.
And I didn't know this. Hold on. Something stuck in my lip here. I didn't realize this, but the Kelvin timeline was a product of Paramount wanting to get that sweet Star Trek dollar. And not only the Star Trek dollar, but the Star Trek merchandising dollar, which they are not part of. For a long time, CBS and Paramount have co-owned Star Trek. I hope you're not going to yawn on me this time.
Oh, you missed it. I did a big production of doing a yawn right when we started talking.
So CBS owns pretty much all the TV aspects of it, with Paramount doing more of the movies. And they've been largely cut out of the dollars for a long time. So it's like, okay, well, we're going to make this alternate timeline, which is going to be in the movies, and we can start getting some money from this thing. The whole Kelvin timeline is all just I'm going to say it, and it's going to be sad. It's a cash grab. It's great. It's cool. Yeah. Awesome. It is a strict cash grab.
Well, 2/3 great.
Yes. 2/3 great.
When we first realized that maybe J.J. Abrams can't finish telling a story.
Yeah. So when we're trying to do the fourth movie, it gets canned. And during that time, everything gets finished up. We got one owner of Star Trek, which is Viacom CBS. And that means that everybody involved owns a part of all of the money. So Paramount is obviously a part of this whole thing. So they're getting that dollar. But at the same time, we don't need Kelvin anymore. It's superfluous, for lack of another fancy word I can come up with. So we don't need Star Trek 4. Well, they don't need Star Trek 4.
I need Star Trek 4 because Noah Hawley's developing it.
Well, Noah Hawley still may be involved, but they may completely ditch the Kelvin timeline.
I'd be sad to see it go, but yeah, if it means if it's Noah Hawley Trek, I'll be in. I can't think of a director writer who I would trust more to that property too.
And on top of this, it seems that Quentin Tarantino is starting to get cold feet about his project.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem to be that invested in it anymore.
I had zero faith that was going to happen. I get
I
it
did
cool,
too.
But
I mean, with as tight as he's sticking to his 10 movies and done thing, I didn't really think he was going to make his 10th movie a Star Trek movie.
That would be hilarious if his 10th movie was a licensed property. I would love that.
I mean, he's talked a lot about different things. He's also talked about that more recently. He really, really does want to do Kill Bill 3. But if he does that, that's his 10th film, and that has to be his next film. And I've read some articles that very well may be his next project. But knowing him, he could get distracted and end up doing Hateful Eight. You know,
what a power move. Make your last movie be a crazy big sci-fi licensed property, and then just be like,
just drop the mic and be out.
Cool. I proved I can do it. Bye.
Yeah. I read 2 interviews with him about that, and the reason why he's trying to do it. He wants to go out on top. You know, leave them always wanting more, and he wants his filmography to be a solid 10 movies that are all good. And he's not going to suck by aging. He's going to go on and be a playwright. He's going to do some television and all this other stuff.
He did direct an episode of CSI.
And he also did an episode of Alias.
Oh, fun.
No, he guest starred as a villain in Alias. One of the few villains in Alias that actually survives the series. It's really great. Let me tell you, watch the first season of Alias. This is the Jennifer Gardner thing. If anybody doesn't really know this, the first season of Alias is outstanding. I cannot endorse this enough. Now, towards the end, when you get in like season 5, it's starting to taper off and kind of lose a bit.
Say, you telling me J.J. Abrams can make a great start and not finish something?
Yeah, but season one was like, holy crap. And yeah, part of that is when Quentin Tarantino coming in as a villain, it basically he takes over their office building. You know, the main characters all work for the CIA and this secret CIA kind of thing. And he just busts into it and takes them all hostage. And he manages to walk right out totally fine, Quentin Tarantino style.
Good for him. And I think that's going to wrap it up for this week's episode.
Indeed. We're getting close to our 20th episode, but we're still nascent, young.
Our 20th episode in 2020.
Yeah, we're still struggling to become mainstream for some of us to be recognized. And in doing so, we have a Patreon site. We haven't yet showcased our, I don't know, is this episode going to come after or before our big top 20? It's going to be before? Okay, so we still got our special coming up after this.
The both of our top 10s for the 2010s.
Yeah, and that was actually that really worked out.
It was a fun episode to record.
And in no way did the last episode and that special be us at the exact same time wearing the exact same clothes.
Yeah, no. Well, see, that's why we got this episode so there's a buffer, so you can't
so we have
the
that illusion
same
that, hey,
shirts.
we went home, we got new outfits, and suddenly we're back in our old clothes for that special. But that really worked. I was really excited with that episode, and this is one of those rare times we can actually talk about an episode that we've recorded before it came out on a new episode. Yeah. We were just going to do like a 20-minute thing, a 30-minute thing, and that turned into a solid hour.
Yeah. So it's a full episode of content.
Yeah. We're really excited about this. We debated about throwing this into our Patreon site, but it's just too good. We're going to put this out into the public consumption.
And if you really like it, you can sign up on our Patreon.
Hit a little comment if you like us, subscribe us if you really love us, hit the little bell. But we come out every Tuesday?
Yeah, every Tuesday
before the new comics hit. And all of the images that you see here will be on our Instagram site. What was it? Instagram, is it Hazmat? Yeah. Hazmat Show? Yeah, it's Hazmat Show. But there'll be a link for it down below. And I think that covers our social media.
Yeah. And
we're also on Facebook, obviously, of course.
We do have a crossover upcoming with, is it Pure Bullfit?
Pure Bullfit. My boy Kevin is going to do something there. We're just waiting for his episodes to hit, and we're going to follow up on that. It's going to be exciting.
Yeah. All right. Well, see you guys next week.
Yep.